22-year-old Michigan woman, Rebecca Park, goes missing the night of November 3rd. She's 38 weeks pregnant, 2 weeks, give or take, from delivery. But on November 25th, 3 weeks and 1 day later, she's found dead in a national forest. She'd been stabbed to death and her unborn baby cut from her womb. And now that baby is nowhere to be found. This is a bit of a head scratcher. Somehow police still say the baby's dead, even though they don't know where the baby is. But it gets worse. Police arrest the victim's own birth mother and stepfather, who were absent for most of her life, but reconnected in 2021. Tonight, the one on the right there, that would be Courtney Bartholomew, and the one on the left there, Bradley Bartholomew. They are charged, among other things, with first-degree murder, felony murder, torture, conspiracy to torture, assault of a pregnant woman, and unlawful imprisonment. That is a mouthful, and that is also many, many years if they're guilty. A prosecutor calls the couple, and I quote, evil personified. Here's what allegedly happened. Police say they lured their daughter to their home, but put her in a truck instead and drove her into the woods and, quote, tortured Rebecca Park in an attempt to remove the unborn infant, resulting in the death of both. And when the deed was done, but while it was still a secret, birth mom, Courtney, spoke to true crime podcaster Stephanie Pratty. She told Stephanie that she had planned to visit her daughter and give her daughter some money that she'd made from selling some land. In hindsight, that may have been part of the alleged plot to lure the victim to her death.
She whispered under her breath, "Mom, you're going to have the 2,000, right?" I said, "Yeah." And she's like, "Okay." And that was all she said.
Yeah, but that tape pops up in her trial. Podcaster also obtained a voicemail from the victim herself, which was left right around the time of her disappearance. From the grave, Rebecca Park's voice is heard telling a friend about her biological mother's plan to take her out for milkshakes and give her some money. I want you to listen closely to this exclusive voicemail never played before on TV.
Like, I'm not trying to just make it all about money, and I really don't give a but I told her that. So today she's supposed to actually give me the actual but we'll see how that goes. And which means money-wise, and go out for shakes. So we'll see.
But now we know how that went. After Rebecca Park was found slaughtered, her mom, Courtney Bartholomew, spoke to the podcaster Stephanie Pratty again. And this time, she decided to blame her daughter Rebecca's death on her other daughter. That would be Kimberly, right there on the left. But, you know, for good measure, she threw in Rebecca's fiance, a man named Rich Fowler.
Kimmy is in jail, and so is Rich. Do you know what they're going to be charged with at the preliminary hearing?
Homicide.
Your grandson is missing. What do you think about this, the baby? Could the baby still be alive?
I hope so.
Well, none of that was true, but Kimberly Park, the victim's sister, is charged with tampering with evidence and lying to police, while Rebecca's fiance, Richard Fowler, is charged with drug crimes. And that's curious. Joining me now with much more on all of this is Stephanie Pratty. You just saw her. It's her podcast called Steph's Case Files. Good to have you on, Stephanie. Thank you so much for being here. I wanted to ask you what you think the most important information was that you learned from your interviews.
Well, I learned the timeline, which is so important. And I learned inconsistencies in the timeline that Courtney was given and the descriptions that she was giving of Rebecca getting into that mystery car on November the 3rd. And through our interviews, things started not to add up and didn't make sense. And I knew something nefarious had happened.